Argentina have finally won the Copa America in what is Lionel Messi's first international trophy. Congratulations to Leo and his compatriots. However, despite this news dominating the headlines all over the world, there is huge news brewing in South American football, more specifically, Brazil. To find out more, continue watching the rounds.
But I see it better now, 'cause everything you do only says you gotta figure it out.
Before we kick off today's episode of The Rounds, I just want to ask you guys to hit that subscribe button if you are new. What we do on Soccernomics is we discuss economic and financial aspects of football. So if this is content that you think you'd be into and you'd like to see more, hit that subscribe button and help support this channel. All right, let's get into it. So, what is happening in Brazil? Well, on the 15th of June, 19 of the top 20 clubs in Brazil, so the likes of Gremio, Flamengo, Sao Paulo, all these teams came together and put together a proposal in the form of a letter to send to the Brazilian Football Federation. In this letter, the clubs demand that they take control of the Brazilian Football League in what will be a breakaway league, with clubs in Brazil's second division also eager to be involved. So why do they want to do it? Well, let's just say that they believe that they can do a better job than the Brazilian Football Federation, or otherwise known as the CBF. And no, it does not mean can't be fucked. Although that wouldn't be a bad description of what the Brazilian Football Federation is like to these football clubs. They believe that they can do a better job than the Brazilian Football Federation. They believe that they have neglected the league for years. They believe that they don't have the correct people involved, and they're not the correct people to move the product, the Brazilian Football League, forward to compete with the European game. Corruption is very notorious in South American football, and the Brazilian Football Federation are no angels. And basically what these clubs are doing are just trying to take matters into their own hands to ensure the long-term stability of the Brazilian Football League and the clubs themselves. Now, this may come as a surprise to viewers outside of South America. However, this sort of revolt has been in discussion for years now. And the last straw essentially came during the Copa America, as the Brazilian Football Federation refused to stop the domestic league season during the tournament. This meant that clubs in Brazil had to continue playing with their depleted squad as players, their star players, represented their country in the Copa America, whilst they had to continue playing, and of course results were skewed. So what do the clubs want to do? Well, their plan is to replace the leadership of the federation with executives whose sole purpose is to ensure the success and long-term stability of the Brazilian Football League and the clubs within it. They believe that with the amount of talent that they produce, I mean, Brazil is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, footballing nations in the world. The amount of world-class talent they produce all the time is incredible. Along with that is the size of the clubs as well. I mean, the size of Flamengo and other clubs like that are huge all around the world. That they believe that with the correct people in place, they can help commercialize the league in a way that they can rival other big leagues such as Ligue 1 in France, and be able to generate revenues that will be able to make them compete with the clubs in Europe to help protect their prized assets from leaving and being lured by the bright lights and glitz and glamour of Europe. When you look closer at the Brazilian Football League and you see the demographic of types of players that are playing in the Brazilian Football League, you can tell that there is a huge problem and a huge issue in Brazilian football. There is basically two different age groups, or two major age groups, playing in the Brazilian Football League. You've essentially got young up-and-coming talents in the form of 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds, and then you've got returning legends coming after their peak, coming and playing in their mid to late 30s, which there is a huge gap. There's a huge gap of players there, and unfortunately, that is where they're going wrong. Unfortunately, these clubs in Brazil, and this is a story with most clubs in South America, unfortunately, they just don't have the money to be able to compete with European football. As soon as a player is good enough to play in Europe, and they get approached by a club in Europe, a big contract and the opportunity to win some huge trophies in Europe, of course those players are not going to turn it down, especially when the club in their domestic league just can't compete. They can't generate even half of the contract that they're being offered. So unfortunately, the Brazilian Football League these days is now just a showcase to sell to European football clubs, much to their dislike. Unfortunately, yeah, this is just the case. And with a product like this, you can see that it's not exactly desirable amongst broadcasters, investors, and it's barely attractive to new fans as well. In fact, just to highlight the lack of value that the Brazilian Football League has at the moment, especially for broadcasting rights, etc. The current broadcasters at Globo, this is quite a funny story. Actually, it's not a funny story. It's kind of sad, to be honest. But these guys, Globo, currently insist that the Brazilian Football League and the clubs play their games at 9 p.m. onwards, so that the games do not clash with their popular soaps that they have. I mean, it's just ludicrous. If you did that in the UK, the country would burn down. And with a huge footballing nation like Brazil, I don't know how this has been allowed to occur. So, of course, you can see why the Brazilian clubs want to take back control, to be able to do things like take control of when football games are played. Obviously, it's not desirable to be playing football matches for the clubs, for fans, for anyone to be playing at 9 p.m. at night onwards. So some games even go longer than that, which is just insane. But yeah, you can see that they want to generate a product that people want to go and watch. People want to see. Broadcasters want to pay regardless of what time they're being played. Football should be at the forefront of the broadcaster's mind. And although there has been no official announcement of this breakaway league, the momentum behind this idea is very real. As you can see, there is a huge amount of clubs that are involved in this, that are pushing for this. The structure behind the league system is looking to be completed within the next year or so, which is obviously moving very quick. It's really sad that Brazilian football has to come to this, that the Brazilian clubs have to try and take matters into their own hands, away from the Brazilian Football Federation, who should have their domestic league, their best interests at heart, but unfortunately that is not the case. But it is good to see that the Brazilian clubs are trying to do something about it, that they are looking to move forward and develop their product. Obviously, if this gets pulled off and it's a huge success, this could have huge ramifications all around the world in a good way. Things like the Club World Cup, a tournament that is completely dominated by Europe because of the money that is in Europe, because there's a lack of money in every other continent. South American clubs do well anyway in the Club World Cup. They tend to get to the finals. Sometimes they cause an upset in against the European teams. If they can compete in terms of money as well and be able to keep their prized assets, keep their world-class players that they produce year in, year out, that could make the competition a whole lot better and just drive the quality of every other team in the competition as well. I know that is a huge call to make, but it can't make it worse. But yeah, really exciting times for Brazil. If they can pull it off, that'd be amazing. But if you did enjoy today's episode, guys, and you want to see more of content like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Be sure to leave a comment as well with your feedback for this as well, if you've got any other ideas behind it. If you haven't already, hit the like button as well. It just helps us be the best channel we can possibly be. But yeah, apart from that, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you very soon.
Being a stranger to what we lost, I'll keep my guard down and hope it comes back around, cause I still just feel like I'm gonna keep running inside.